Yo, what's up, people? In this video, we're going to answer the question, is TRT really for life? Now, whoops, not that question, this question. Is TRT really for life? So this is something that, like, if you have been researching TRT and you're interested in it, one of the things that may stop you from jumping in head first is this is this notion that is popularized by many of these YouTube personalities, where they'll say TRT is a big deal, it's a major commitment, you should really think about it before you do it, do your research, because when you start TRT, it's for life. And that's a little bit misleading. And in this video, I'm going to explain why that's misleading, why people say that, and why I don't think TRT necessarily needs to be for life. But when you start, you probably are not going to want to stop. And I'm going to kind of decode all of the not double speak, but all of the misleading information that you may hear on other YouTube channels that are that talk about TRT. Okay, so in the most simplest way to sum this up is right here in this little red box, right? If TRT improves your quality of life, why would you ever stop? Let's just start right there, right? So just a quick recap, like what are the main benefits of TRT? Is that you feel better, it's easier to build muscle, you have more energy, you're in a better mood overall, increased work capacity, just everything, more confidence, like you just feel better and are able to perform much better in many different ways. All right, now a little bit of that, and there are some risks that can, in my opinion, be easily mitigated with some additional supplementation and some I guess not necessarily lifestyle changes, but additional actions that you can take to, limit the risk of any potential side effects. All right, so testosterone levels drop with age after 25. So this is not a hard and fast number, and it is possible you might have low T, right, at a younger age. But one of the major problems with TRT is that this whole low T thing is, in my opinion, misdiagnosed, because you're taking people who have a terrible lifestyle, like, oh, I feel like shit, I'm 90 pounds overweight, my diet is terrible, I smoke cigarettes, I drink alcohol all the time, I smoke weed, like, I don't leave my house, I don't get any sun. And I went to the doctor and he said, I have low T, should I do TRT? And it's like, bro, why don't you try and fix your lifestyle first before you jump right into that? And that's something that is commonly echoed on channels that talk about TRT, which is that, like, if you're under a certain age, might not be a bad idea to try and fix your lifestyle first. If you're still developing, right? I would say if you're not fully mature as an adult male, which I would argue happens around 25, around there, you might want to consider waiting, because your body is still changing, and you don't necessarily, your body's still changing in a good way, and you don't want to necessarily hamstring any of those potential changes by giving your body a handicap, let's call it, or giving your body an unnecessary boost in terms of hormone production. Could potentially be bad. Okay, so that said, regardless of where you are in terms of your testosterone levels, exogenous tests will improve your quality of life. That is, once the side effects are accounted for, this is pretty much as factual as it gets, for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. You're going to feel better, you're going to look better, it's going to be easier for you to build muscle, easier for you to burn fat. You're going to have much more robust work capacity, more stamina, more endurance. It's just across the board better for men to have higher testosterone, and women as well, but at a much reduced level. Okay, so the issue here is that people who talk about going on TRT, they're like trying to be overly cautious about it, because you can't really tell somebody to jump right into it, because when you start messing with your hormones, that's like the last level of biohacking, in my opinion, so far. Until they invent fucking implants where you can shoot missiles at people and shit, like, this is pretty much the highest level of biohacking. And because it's the highest level, you have the greatest potential rewards and also the greatest risks, in my opinion. So anyway, one of the reasons why you might want to stop is because you need to manage the side effects for life. That's really what they mean, is that side effect management is for life, right? You're always going to have to worry about your blood pressure. You're always going to have to worry about your lipid profile, your good cholesterol to bad cholesterol ratio. You're always going to have to worry about your red blood cell count. You're always going to have to give blood. You're always going to have to, what other side effects are there? Like, I guess HCG, you always have to do that, if you want to have kids. Needles are very inconvenient. Most people, when they do TRT, they do the injections. They don't do the gel or the cream or whatever. I guess it's just gel and cream, right? Or just cream. Needles are inconvenient, but not really. Like, it takes 30 seconds to do your injection, maybe it depends how much and how often. But it's, is that really that inconvenient? No. You need to buy them and have them and take 30 seconds out of your day to do it. Okay. This is potentially a bigger one, is that potential long-term risks are still unknown despite the fact that testosterone is naturally occurring in the human body. Chronically elevated levels of testosterone, the risks of that, I don't want to say they're unknown, because we can kind of assume what will happen based on people who have naturally high testosterone. They say that testosterone is actually toxic to the body. It's neurotoxic and cardiotoxic, I think. And one of the ways to mitigate that risk is to maintain also an acceptable level of estrogen in the body. But anyway, I don't want to get too into that. But anyway, the point is that okay, why would you ever stop? If it's really for life, why would you stop? And these are pretty much the only reasons here. Another thing that people think is that and I guess another one of the main considerations is that if you start TRT, this right here, I need to stay on because my body will stop producing T naturally, right? There's this idea that your body is a machine, and if you supply it with exogenous testosterone, it will completely 100% shut off your natural production of testosterone, right? It's called shutdown, or I think there's another word for it. I don't remember what it's called. And I don't think that this is 100% accurate. I don't think that you will stop producing 100% of your testosterone. I could be wrong. This is just my, I guess, assumption. But I don't think your body will produce zero. And as a result, and not only that, your body is very resilient, right? There's no. It doesn't, I don't think it works in the way that people claim it to work. I think this is just glossed over in many YouTube channels that promote TRT, and by many proponents of TRT, as a way to justify their own use, right? Their own extended use. Well, I started TRT, I can never stop. Oh no, I always have to have triple the natural levels of, the most evolved human being naturally on the planet. Oh gosh, this sucks. I hate this. It's so inconvenient. Because the way that it does not work, in my opinion, is that your body is not going to, get used to exogenous testosterone over a period of months or years, and then automatically your ability to produce testosterone is destroyed completely. That's not, I think that is, that's just not true. That's just not how it works. There are many things, will you feel as good as you felt on TRT? No. Can you achieve the same levels that you had before you were on TRT? Well, that is, you'll be older, right? Let's say you do TRT for 10 years, from 27 to 37. Will you be able to get the same levels that you had back when you were 27? Well, probably not, but that's because you're 10 years older, not because your body has completely permanently damaged your ability to produce testosterone as a result of being on TRT for 10 years. I don't think that's how it works. There might be some small effect, but I doubt that it would be, you'll still be able to get back to your baseline. Right? Will you be fully optimized as a natural? No, probably not. But then again, you take multivitamins, you take creatine, you drink coffee, you do all this other shit. What's the difference to throw in some additional, exogenous substance into your body to make your life better? I don't really see that there's that big of a difference. In my opinion, for example, if you could do TRT by taking a pill, everybody would do it. Right? Everybody would do it. But what's interesting is that despite the fact that there are a lot of oral steroids and prohormones, there is no oral version of testosterone, which is kind of strange. If there was, everybody would be on TRT. Everybody would be on it. I mean, I don't know about everybody, but like you definitely see a lot more. But the fact that you have to use a needle to inject it has a huge amount of stigma associated to it. Because where do you even buy needles? You know, where do you even get that shit? Where do you like it? Okay, let's say you get a vial of it, of testosterone. Like, where do you get the needles? How do you do it? It's an additional layer of complexity that like prevents people from even starting. Okay, and furthermore, right, this whole idea of is TRT really for life is kind of protected by this, what I call lip service, to justify this taboo method of, I don't want to call it, you can't really say improving your health, of optimizing your appearance of, no, optimizing your lifestyle, I guess. Is the best way to put it, because is it really improving your health? Sort of. I mean, it will improve many other areas of your life, which can indirectly improve your health. For example, it'll improve your mood, which might improve your, efficacy at work, which might improve, and it'll also improve your like overall work capacity to train hard in the gym. All of those things will enable you to improve your health to a much greater degree. But TRT in and of itself, will that just magically improve your health? I don't think so. I think you need to work harder to kind of counterbalance the potential negative effects of testosterone. Anyway, let's talk about this lip service, because this is not something that should be ignored. And I think it's borderline dangerous. It's not really dangerous. It's irresponsible of a lot of people who advocate TRT to say things like this, right? And to kind of say things like this and gloss over it without as a justification to stay on, really, or as a justification that they're taking it, right? Like one of the reasons that I like More Plates, More Dates is because the dude is like, I'm trying to be as good as I can. I'm trying to optimize my levels. Yeah, there are risks, but it's worth it for me, so I'm going to do it. Greg Doucette says that as well, although he does, in my opinion, say a little bit too frequently as a justification, oh, I abused steroids for so many years, my natural testosterone is fucked, so therefore I took it, a doctor gave it to me, so it's okay, go do it by a doctor. I think part of that is to protect himself and protect his brand by saying like, I'm doing it, supervised by a doctor, so you guys should too, when in fact it's possible that with all of the knowledge that he has, he could probably just do it on his own, doesn't need a fucking doctor. But legal reasons, ethical reasons, now he's like this figurehead, he has to say shit like that. Anyway, so this whole idea of like a doctor prescribed it, therefore it's okay. Now this is something that Greg Doucette does talk about when he talks about fake natties. So his whole thing is like he'll like pull the wool, or he'll reveal these fake natties. I forget who it was, Oliver Forslund, the dude with the fitness model with the giant lips, where he talks about, am I still natty? A doctor prescribed me TRT. Dude's like fucking 20 years old. Anyways, like a doctor prescribed it. It's just to bring me back to normal levels. Therefore, it's okay. Well, okay. Like, is that really the case? Like, you could have the same levels, the same normal levels as somebody else, and they're still training as hard as you. Why are you so much more muscular? Oh, well, it's genetics. Well, actually, no, I don't think it is. Bottom line, your body produces, like the peak human individual will produce 50 milligrams naturally per week at like the most optimal time in their life on the most optimal diet. Like you're not getting more than 50 milligrams, and that's per week. And that's not chronically elevated, right? That's like maybe one day you produce, a certain amount, another day you produce another amount, and like aggregate, it'll get to 50. And when you are on TRT, the minimum dose is 100 milligrams, really. Some people take less, some people take more. I know Greg Doucette's on 140. I think More Plates, More Dates is also on 140. I've heard him say he was on 100, but I've also heard him say 140. So that's basically triple the amount that the peak human being would have naturally. And just because your little testosterone test says 700 and theirs also says 700, like, do you really think that's the same? Like there's got to be something else here at play that maybe we don't understand, or that is not showing up on the blood test, that is allowing you to carry so much muscle, year round at such a low body fat percentage. So I don't buy the whole like my levels were low, this just brought me back up to the normal range. It's not that's like a good result on paper, but like let's talk about reality. You know what I mean? Fuck what your little piece of paper says. Like in reality, you're way bigger than you could possibly get on, if you weren't on something. And like, who cares? It doesn't matter. I'm not saying like, oh, you shouldn't do it, or oh, it's not fair, or oh, you're fake natty or whatever. Like, whatever. You want to do it, go ahead. Like, do it. You want to do it the legal way with a doctor, probably a better idea if you have no idea what you're doing. I can't recommend for anybody, obviously, to like just go order your shit on the internet and find some fucking, just do it on your own, self-research. Like, I cannot do that for obvious reasons. But there are some people that might want to do that. And then again, this whole other thing of like, my health was bad, so it's okay, right? This is the same idea of like antidepressants, right? If you have a shitty life, antidepressants are not going to make your life better. But what they will do is they will work as a not a stepping stone, but a kind of like a little method of boosting your mood and your health to enable you to do the things that you need to do to fix your life. So TRT can work for that. It can, but it still requires, like if you do, like let's say your life sucks and your health is shit because all you do is sit around all day and watch TV and eat fucking whatever, I don't know, pizza. If you all of a sudden start TRT and you still sit around all day and watch TV and eat pizza, well, guess what? It's not going to fucking help you because you're not changing any of your habits. So it's not like you do this and it just magically improves your life. You still have to do the work to improve your life. It just makes doing the work easier, but you still have to do the work. Anyway, what's the bottom line? TRT is great and you can come off it if you want. Why would you want to? Risk-reward ratio is so small that you can easily stay on for life and reap the benefit. So that's pretty much what it comes down to, right? Like when people say, the whole point of me making this video is like, it's this whole like misleading phrase of people saying it's for life is misleading, because that's like saying eating healthy is for life. Oh my God, once you eat healthy, you can never not eat healthy again or you'll feel like shit. Well, yeah, obviously, duh. So what's the added layer of like complexity here that you have to inject? That you have to inject it? That there's potential side effects? Well, there's potential side effects to eating fucking pizza too, but nobody talks about that. Anyway, the point is that like there's a lot of misleading information that needs to be decoded, and the information is misleading because of the tricky legal situation of going on TRT. It's like a tricky legal situation and also ethical. Like it's legal, half ethical. Because like most people who do it probably don't do it legally. They probably order that shit on the fucking internet and they just fucking experiment on their own and they learn on forums and that's it. Because most doctors and most clinics don't know shit about it, and you can, you're better off doing your own research than taking their advice 99% of the time. That's the like legal issue. And then the ethical issue is like, oh my God, you're on TRT. That's somehow cheating in life, right? Yeah, you got those big muscles, but did you do it naturally? Like, is it really this amazing workout that you're doing and your lifestyle and the way you're eating? Or is it that you're giving yourself a little extra boost in the form of 100 milligrams a week of testosterone? Okay, so I guess the bottom line of this, the overall takeaway is that it's very good. And if you can safely manage the side effects, then I think it is an excellent choice for any man over a certain age. Because it just, I should have started way sooner, really. Should have started way sooner. Didn't, but, can't put the shit back in the donkey, as they say. All right, you guys have any questions about that? Let me know. Do you want to see any more videos on TRT? If you do, or if you want to see something on something else, let me know. Leave me a comment. Peace.